What is going on, everybody? It's time for the market recap. Today was another green day. We were able to put up 365 bucks. Um, Ended the stream up. Oh gosh, what was I up? Maybe like 70, like 76 bucks or something like that. Was able to find some trades later on, and so I took advantage of that. This chart that we are looking at is the daily chart. So each candle represents a day. This white line we are looking at here, that was the sloping resistance that we talked about in the last video. We started this line in February. We came back, retested to we retested a we retested the level in March. And so we were able to draw that line to see if we come to test it a third time. Will we reject off of it, find support and break out of it, or reject and validate the line? Today we rejected. So far that line is sloping resistance that is trying to build is validated. We spent some time above it, but we failed to stay above it. So we broke back down below it today. So we'll go ahead and go down to the 1 minute chart. Take a look at that, see what that looked like during the day. So here you have it. This is the price action for today. It's a crazy price action. When I was looking back at the markets, these big candles, which we'll go into here in a second. But as you can see, the market opened. We broke lower. We found support. We bounced above this. We bounced above that white line there, which is a slope and resistance line. We spent some time around it. We tested that line once, twice, 3 times. We were not able to stay below it. We didn't break below it and stay below it. And so the buyers pushed it up off of there for some time around 10:20 this morning. That was a nice trade. Actually, I think I can't even remember if I took that trade. I tried to put the executions back on the chart, but since it's another trade day, I can't see my. Actually, nope, I missed that. I missed that trade. I'm not sure if I took a quick scalp up here or not for the break of these highs, but I knew it was going, but I missed this entry here. I had to take, I did actually, oh gosh. Actually, I did, I believe when did I take a trade? Let me see. I had to, right? Because I got off of the computer. I took a trade and I actually added to it. So I took the trade. Was it here? I took a trade. I added, I think it was in here. I took a trade. I added to it. It stopped me out at for one in profit, and then the other one, I think in here it stopped me out, and the other one, this candle maybe. I don't know. It's on my live video from today, but um that candle, the rest of the trade played out, and so the trade was green. I made like 100 bucks on it because I was down from the first trade I took. The first trade I took, I can't remember what I did, but the first trade I took, it was a long, and I was stopped out. I think I went long, or I'm not sure. It was a long though, and I believe I was stopped out for about 36 bucks. Then after taking that trade, I was up 76 bucks. Didn't get another trade in until later in the day. And what was interesting about today was these candles here. Let me find the trade. Where was I at? Okay, because they kept doing the same thing. The price was rising and then it fell. It flushed here. I don't think I was in the trade there. But what I do remember doing was I went long somewhere here. No, I went long somewhere in here. I think at this candle, like this candle that bounced off of the 200. I went long somewhere in here. I took a trade, and what we did was flushed. And this candle came in, and I was like, "What is it doing?" Actually, that is exactly where I went long. And the reason why I went long, I remember now, is because this inverted head and shoulders. And so what happened was I went long here, and actually at the bottom of that, I went long at the bottom just to see if we were going to complete this shoulder, because I seen this and I was thinking that we were going to make an inverted head and shoulders. That head and shoulders was going to send us here, and if we broke that, we could potentially go up to test this level or this level. Obviously this level first. And so what I did was I took that short, I took that long, excuse me, and I got out here. On that candle, I got out. So I got out basically at the break of the neckline. And I wanted to see if we were going to continue. So this green candle here, this one right here, that one let me know that we were going to continue. So I got in and I was going to hold it and, trail my stop up the way I do for this level and this level. What happened was we flushed. And I was like, it happened so fast. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? And I was down. As a matter of fact, I took some more trades. Actually, I was in this trade here. Actually, I was short here. Now remember, I went short here. It gave me like 75, 74 bucks there. And it popped on me and I was down about, I think I was down like 50 or like 54, somewhere around there, somewhere around 50, 60 bucks. And then it flushed. I didn't expect it to do that, but I did expect it to drop and come potentially test, that level. I didn't know it was going to happen that fast, but that is the trade that actually put me up to, I would think I was at $324 at that time. And so nope, I was at, gosh, what was I at? I was at I'm not sure, maybe 260. I think I was at 260 something. That's what it was. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to remember this. It's late. I'm tired. It's 8:46. The markets are now have opened. And so I'm trying to remember what happened. But I do remember it was around 260, because when I took this trade here, that put me at around $324. It was like a $60 trade, somewhere around there. So that put me around like $320, somewhere around there. And when I went long for that continuation, it flushed. And this, when it flushed, I was trading 2 micros. When it flushed, it was like automatically like that. It was like negative 318, and then it bounced and was like negative 190 around here. And I was like, okay, let's see what it's gonna do. And it opened, it tried to push down a little bit, it continued to go up, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what that was, but I think that this is validated. And so I held the trade, and once it got here, just broke that high, I cut it, and I was able to come out like I was up like 365 bucks or something like that. So I finished the day up $365. We are up $1,000, 1,100 now in this account, trying to get to the payout stage. But what I think was interesting was this same flush, they did that same thing here, right? That trade. And it was so crazy because on this flush here, I was actually on the right side of the market. And I was like, whoa, what was that? And then on this flush here, I was on the wrong side of the market. But luckily, the market rebounded, and that was just, I don't know honestly what that was, but I did see that beautiful head and shoulders there. And so that's what made me take that trade. It was on the 1 minute chart, so I knew we weren't going to go too high. It makes sense that it pushed us up to kind of come test that area again, that slope and resistance that we formed. We rejected below that. Obviously, we stayed below that. We kind of were in and out of the initial balance here. And these big flushes, I look back at the market, and I believe here, just these big flushes, and I'm like, that is like the third and fourth time they did that. You see this big candle, And this big candle is like every time price came up here, there were big sellers up there. And so I hope if you traded that, you were on the right side of that and you were aware of that. What they were doing today from this candle and this candle here kind of was the same thing. This was after a an advancement. This was kind of after a short advancement. This advancement here was a bigger advancement before they flushed it. But luckily, like I said, I didn't get caught on the wrong side of that twice. The first time I was on the right side. The second time I was on the wrong side, but luckily it recovered. And price action, it wasn't as clean today, but if you just waited and kind of paid attention to what they were doing, you could potentially catch some good moves here. We had a cross that was cleaner there. But for the most part, it was a little harder today, I would say, to make money, especially because I wasn't looking at the charts the entire time. It looks like we did get a little temporary relief up into the initial balance low to close out the day. And right now we are still sitting around that previous day's initial balance low, kind of, well, we're below it. And we are still below the resistance, the slope of resistance that we formed earlier in the year. So we just trade the cycles, trade what we see. The markets have been producing opportunities lately. It's been some good volatility in there. I don't know what these crazy moves were today, all these big red candles, but I do know that I'm going to be trading micros so that if I ever get caught in something like this here, which I was caught in, I will not blow the account. And that's a good example of why people should trade micros. If that was minis, that would have been a $3,000 drop. My account was down $3,000. Obviously, it bounced, but if it didn't bounce and recover, then that's a pretty nasty dent that you would have. Well, I would have put, and anybody would have put in the account if it did not rebound. But if it did not rebound, since I was trading micros, two micros, I mean, if it would have flushed from here, I would have cut it, and I probably would have lost around like 200 or so dollars. And so, I still would have been up on the day, because I would have been up $100 on the day, and I would have left it alone after that, hopefully. But the account would have been saved. So yeah, that's it for today. We're working towards these payouts, taking it slow. Thank you all for watching, and you already know where to be. I'll see you at 8 a.m. here on NQ Lioness. All right, peace.